late one night on a lonely back road. A couple trapped by floodwaters. Faint, ghostly headlights appear in the distance. The beginning of a frightening experience no one can explain.
If he hadn't turned up at the time, I wouldn't be sitting here. I now believe that it is quite possible that somebody from the other side of life can come to your rescue.
Frank Corbell is now 70 years old, comfortable in his retirement, but he's lived a disciplined and adventurous life. First, as a pilot in the Luftwaffe during World War II. Then, after migrating to Australia in the 1950s, serving his new country in the Vietnam War. Along the way, he met and fell in love with Stella Lord. In 1965, they were married. She was with him on the night of May the 29th, 1974, the night of the flood and the ghostly rescue. Frank was driving Stella to her father's birthday party, a long and treacherous trip. Floodwaters blocked the main highway, so the Corbells took a detour, a very dangerous detour.
I drove down into the water. The water got higher and higher, and the engine cut out. My wife uttered a scream and put her feet up on the dashboard. And my mind was racing, what could I do?
I felt really terrified and just hoping against hope that we would get out of it. But at the time, I don't think I thought there was much chance.
If I had gotten out of the car, I would have had to swim, and I don't think I would have had a chance against the strong current. My wife was inside and she can't swim, so it was a losing situation.
A desperate situation. The car stalled in floodwaters, the water rising. No hope of starting the engine. No hope, it seemed, of rescue.
I think we would have definitely gone down, and I can't swim. And so Frank knew that, and he was frightened, I think, that what would happen.
Then, behind them, a sight they could not believe. Headlights piercing through the mist, a glint of chrome in the moonlight, an eerie vision that began to take shape. The shape of a strange black limousine, edging closer and closer through the floodwaters. A bump, another one. The Corbells feel their car being nudged slowly toward dry land by the silent stranger.
It may have taken a minute or so, but I thought it was an eternity. And slowly we got through the depths of the water and finished up on the other side of the river.
But before the Corbells could thank the limo driver, before they could utter a word, the mysterious saviour disappeared. There was just a glimpse of the driver, middle-aged, wearing a jacket and tie, and...
He looked very, I wouldn't say he looked lifeless, but he didn't show any emotions at all.
Naturally, Frank and Stella were shocked and bewildered. You see, when they inspected the rear of the car, there was nothing, not one extra scratch. No sign that the black limousine had bumped them through the floodwaters.
I think that driver saved our lives. I don't know whether he was meant to do that or whether it was just an accident that he appeared. But without him pushing us out, we would have been swept away. I'm quite sure of that.
The Corbells' problems weren't over. They were wet, cold, and still stranded in the middle of nowhere. Minutes later, though, there was a second coincidence on this deserted bush byway. A second set of headlights appeared through the mist. This time it was a van. No mistake, no apparition.
How are you?
Thanks, mate.
What's the problem here?
While they worked on the waterlogged car, Frank asked the van driver if he'd seen the black limousine on the road. If there'd been one, the driver must have sighted it. His answer was no. There was no other car on that road at that time, that night. The black limo had vanished into thin air.
Okay, have a nice day. See you later.
Thanks very much indeed.
Not a problem.
For more than 20 years, Frank and Stella Corbell have pondered over those frightening hours back in 1974 when they came so close to drowning. All they know is they survived. The question they ask is, were they plunged even deeper into the unknown?
I'm beginning to wonder whether that car and that man who pushed me out were actually real, because it was something which is just not normal. An experience like that is a very strong message to you. And when you sit down years after and think about it, you might think, well, perhaps it was my guardian angel.